Okay,
Yeah.
everyone, welcome to another edition of Independent Artists Unite Song Series. Super excited to have back the beautiful people from down under, Mystic Tea Party. Yay.
Hey,
Hello.
So nice to
thanks for
see
having us
you.
on again.
Well, thanks for making the time to come on again because I feel like your star is on the rise here. I'm seeing more and more plays, more and more followers, more and more excitement, more and more comments. So that must be exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It feels nice. Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. Um, but I have to say, empty as always, I was
Mhm.
nervous. I was nervous. Now, please tell me that you two are still hopelessly in love with each other and everything's
Of
okay.
course. Of course.
I was like, okay, I'm la 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 la. I'm just gonna pretend this is an old song of Bloom's that she resurrected when
Yeah, yeah.
because I was like, okay, it could kind of be a breakup song, or it's that kind of,
Oh.
it reminded me of like I was a hopeless drug addict back in the day.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it reminded me of that feeling, of that hungover feeling, when because you mentioned the drugs are wearing off, these kind of feelings, who am
Mhm,
I kind of vibe. And
mhm.
oh, I I mean, I spent decades of my life like that. So it was
Mhm.
just like I was like, it really captures that feeling, and it really it really hit me. Um, but Okay, so everything's all right with you guys.
Everything's
Okay,
Yes.
fine and
because listen,
dandy.
I'm living vicariously through you guys, okay? You are like the rock and roll beautiful dream come true, okay? So yeah, I really identify with the lyrics is what I'm trying to say, and I think they're really beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the next song that is coming out is also about breakup. So I'm just warning you that
Oh, phew. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
please continue to warn me that everything's all right. Just send me messages. Hey, Scott, everything's all right with us. But the next song,
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of breakup songs, but they're all from past experiences that have just came out. I mean, a lot of them I
yeah,
wrote, a couple of years ago, but they were all just like living inside me, waiting to come out. But Empty is always, for me, has nothing really to do with like relationship with anyone else other than myself.
right. Yeah,
Um, and yeah, it's all about, I guess, my relationship with myself,
yeah,
Mm.
basically.
yeah.
So Bloom has like a repository of poems or songs written before. So
Hmm.
I'm not sure if this one actually was written
I
before.
wrote, no, I wrote this one in 2021,
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
and it was basically like once I had already started my journey of healing myself, making
mm,
better choices in my life, doing things that I feel would be good for me.
mm,
Um, and then looking back and being like, well, if I'm doing all of these things that they say that you're supposed to do to feel good, then why do I still feel just as bad, if not worse, than when I
mm.
was self-destructive, you know, doing heaps of fucking drugs and living this terrible lifestyle, you
Yeah.
know? That hole is still there, and now it's just screaming louder and it's more deafening.
I have to say, I'm so happy for you that you're doing this a lot earlier in life than I did.
Yeah.
Because now
I didn't
you
get
got,
a
yeah,
decade out of it.
it's such a lovely thing to get over with early, Uh,
Mm.
yeah, instead of just continually running into the ground for decades.
Mhm.
I'm really happy for you. Well, could you read the lyrics for us? Because I think it really like it
Yes.
stands alone as a beautiful poem as well. Oh, I want to say one thing is I happened to be go through this series of watching these documentaries before you read this because it was something that Sebastian said um, about bands. There's like a bunch of things on Netflix and stuff, and there's one for Duran Duran, right? And so John Taylor, the bass player, and the keyboard, Nick Rhodes, they were the beginning of Duran Duran, and they kind of had like everything going on. and then they meet Simon Le Bon, and he's got this book of lyrics, and they're like, oh, it's like the Holy Grail, you know, if you're like
Mhm.
if you're like a musician and you you know you can do everything musically or whatever, but it's like the lyrics, you know, this song, like
Yeah.
this
Have
is
a book
like
like that.
exactly. So that's like the golden thing, and I thought it was really funny that they that they felt that way
Mhm.
about Simon Le
And
Bon. So
sometimes two things are not meeting. I feel like
mm,
music is very kind of like mathematical, and then uh, writing is more like humanistic, if that makes sense. And
yeah,
uh, I mean, some people can do both, obviously, but yeah, for me, it's always a struggle. So I prefer to do music and
mm,
just for hours, you know, in Ableton, and you know,
yeah,
I kind of have that kind of brain.
yeah.
And I have
Yeah.
think things out of like puff of smoke in my brain. I'm like,
This is perfect. You have like Puff the Magic Dragon poet and like, you know, Stephen Hawking mathematician here. It's a perfect
yes. That resonates.
it's a perfect team. But let's hear the lyrics. I'm
Yeah.
more excited to hear them like this.
Cool. So the lyrics are locked in love, but not sure it could measure up. Self-control is not enough to feed my soul. And I guess that's about like finally like learning to love myself,
Mm,
but can it hold a candle to the times where I was just like off and loose, free in the world?
mm,
Self-control is not enough to feed my soul,
mm,
in quotation marks.
mhm,
Lacking in self-praise, I'm empty as always. Chemicals have worn down, all the drugs don't work now. Sudden introversion, I'm a different person now. All of that growth, it somehow happened on its own, in a zone, yet somehow I still feel the load. Despite all my cliches, I'm empty as always.
mhm,
Everyone I've drowned out keeps on speaking so loud. With the same perversions, I'm a different person now. And I like I love this song lyrically. I feel
mm,
it's simple, but it just came out in a really nice way.
mhm,
And even though the melody is just the same, like did it,
mhm,
and the chords are changing. There's something about the repetitiveness, and the similarity in the words that I really liked. And I guess with the whole song's about being a different person and like looking
mm,
back on my past self. And then yeah, this little bridge part, don't remember who I was before, it's something that I'm supposed to feel good for, waiting for the day when I'll explore it, if that day ever comes.
mm,
And then it repeats
yeah.
this empty as always part. But yeah, the song is just looking back on my past self through the lens of, you know, at the time when I wrote this song, I was like, is it ever going to get better? Where?
Mm,
And and then I was just looking back on all this stuff and feeling sentimental and confused and whatever.
yeah. You know, it's kind of crazy and kind of wonderful to think that someone as gorgeous as you, Bloom, can look into the mirror and think these things. Like, really? It's not enough to be so beautiful. Oh, God, you mean this person has these problems too?
Oh yeah.
As we're
Oh
all
yeah.
sitting
Lots
in
of
our
problems.
bedrooms thinking, oh, I just wish, you know, if I looked like that, things I wouldn't have
Yeah.
any more problems, you know, but here we are. Here we
Mm-hmm.
are.
Yeah. Everybody's got problems.
Yeah. I just want to say too, I've got a bunch of teenage girls in this house. I don't know if you can hear that.
No,
No.
no, no,
No,
no.
they're okay. they're in their wild phase. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not taking drugs. No drugs.
No
Well,
partying.
You know, they're vaping. This is the thing. Vaping is the thing.
Oh yeah, even worse.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it's like my daughter is this kind of gorgeous, like ridiculous, 5'11". She's 13, 5'11", or well, or you guys use centimeters.
Oh no, we
Yeah,
use
yeah.
we use feet as well.
Oh, you do feet as well. Okay, yeah. So
Oh.
she's hugely tall and uh, gorgeous, and she's like starting to, not starting. She knows like her power. You know what I mean? She just like walks in the room and like, yeah, what's up?
Mhm.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing to see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you talked about this repetitive thing too, because it's kind of like it's interesting to me because it's the music as well that accompanies it that makes you feel like you're headed to somewhere different. You know what I mean? It's not just like you're just sitting here, oh, woe is me, the end. You know what I mean? That kind of steady repetition of the music and all the stuff that you do, Sebastian. Um, it's like it gives you the feeling of hope. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
everything's building that way.
Mhm.
And I really love that. And I was really, it's interesting when you said, oh yeah, this middle eight or the bridge or whatever you want to call it is like, I think it's like, I think it really is so beautiful, your guys' relationship. And I can hear like the reverence that Sebastian has for your words and your life and what you're putting into this, because I feel that level of care with the music, Sebastian. You know what I mean? Like you're
Mhm.
doing all these intricate little things in here, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what is that even? And little blips on the guitar and little feedback things, and I'm like,
Mhm.
is he gonna come to like a screaming solo or something? And it never really happens. It's like, oh, I heard that feedback. It's here it comes, and it doesn't come, and it's like, I love that. And just the way your vocal becomes a bit more saturated in the
Mm.
in the midsection and some backing vocals that are more like that telephone sound or something. It's just like
Mhm.
it really is like so lovingly done, the music
Yeah, I
it's just
spent a
like,
lot of time on
yeah,
this. Too much time.
yeah,
And still not happy, but
And we were so confused of where we were even gonna go
yeah. And
with this song.
initially it was going like kind of loud at the end. And then I kind of tamed it a little bit down. It
Because it was like we
actually,
rock, we turned it like full rock at the end.
yeah,
Before
yeah.
now it's like quite electronic and spacey at the end.
yeah,
But
I love
before
that,
it
yeah.
was like let's just go like full fucking rock, and there was this whole extra part that we had to cut out because we were like, mm-mm.
Yeah,
I could
was,
totally see the
I felt
temptation,
like it
yeah.
was too much. It felt kind of cringe at the end. And then I didn't know for a long time. I had to kind of leave that song for a while because I actually didn't know how to end it. And
Mm,
then, yeah, then it kind of became this like kind of echoey thing with this kind of jungly beat and
mm,
even this like breakbeat in there, and I thought like it was kind of cool, some more electronic, I guess.
mhm,
And yeah, but the idea was that the first part I really wanted to make it very melancholic and sad,
mhm,
and then make like kind of like create this feeling that yeah, it's a little bit repetitive, but it builds up and builds up, and there's this tension building up,
mhm,
uh, and it's just becoming kind of more dramatic. And then basically everything kind of gets like sucked to your head, and you only can hear the bass and the vocals, and like the reverb and everything just like kind of gets sucked to your head. And that kind of transitions to this kind of change of the character, you know, and the lyrics, like there's like maybe some hope in there, but also I didn't want to make it sound all just kind of rosy and
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and sweet. So I still wanted to have that edginess, you know, and melancholia, but still like leave that hope in there. So yeah, so I'm glad, because actually we never really talked about this with anyone. So I'm glad you got this feeling. So I feel like I succeeded, you know.
I do think you succeeded. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. It's also too, it's just like I could just like feel that like these words were like sacred to Bloom, you know, and your creation of the music was sacred to you, you know, like really in this zone. And it's so it's just like, you know, I've always loved that. I've always responded to, you know, songs, music like that. We are like, okay, this is like a religious experience for these people. You know, it's not like it's not just a throwaway pop song or whatever. You know, it really
Yeah. I
is
mean, it
like
was meant to be a journey. And
yeah,
then like it's over 5 minutes long, you know, like it definitely never was meant to be a number one hit,
yeah.
let's say, you know. I wish,
That's
but
interesting.
no,
I had
that's
no yeah, I didn't
not.
realize that it was over 5 minutes long. It doesn't it doesn't feel long. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got a great progression.
Yeah, it's hard to make it, you know, sound uh you know, because I always need to be aware that something is 5 minutes long, and also when I spend so much time working on it, that 5 minutes I loop it probably 1,000 times, so it's tiring as well. But yeah, I just try to, that's why there's so many things happening and stuff like that. I just don't want people to get bored, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this TikTok ADHD thing. I'm like,
Oh, jeez.
people need
Yeah.
to get constantly
Yeah.
stimulated, you know. So yeah, I need to get them, you know, distracted with noises.
Well, it's interesting, you know. I mean, speaking of TikTok, it, it it must be a challenge when you have a song like this. It's like, what snippet do you try to promote? You know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
definitely.
you have like on Instagram, like, okay, they'll allow a minute 30, but then like a lot of people do a minute, and TikTok is like a minute. So is like a minute the thing, and it's like a minute of this song,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like enough, you know, to really get the feel of
Totally.
the whole thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same with live shows as well. You know, like I'm always concerned because obviously our music is down tempo most of the time, and
Mm,
I just, you know, this is what I like, but I also want people to like it. And
mm.
then there's always this like middle ground,
You
like
want to
what do
be
we do, you know?
entertaining,
Yeah,
but we're
Right.
not really the music that people mosh to, you know?
yeah, or
Yeah,
dance to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like
I guess.
sitting and,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess.
sitting and watching.
Yeah, I could see like, you know, like a room full of like, you know, Indian plush pillows and hanging out,
Mhm.
and, you know, maybe even
Yeah, that
people hooking.
Oh, that would be
You know,
sick.
just like
Yeah.
it's a chill, you know. I mean, I would love to be in that room with you guys playing, you know.
Yeah, we just need to get to enough people to appreciate it, you know. And then, you know, we always get a lot of feedback, and you always kind of have to take the feedback to heart, but also know that like people do have different tastes. So
Mm,
if you get feedback from a person that doesn't even listen to this kind of music,
mm.
it might kind of distract you, you know,
Oh yeah.
because even if they would listen to your favorite band from that genre and not appreciate it, then you know, I always say like basically I don't know, if you're trying to be like Led Zeppelin
Mm.
uh, and then you show someone Led Zeppelin and they're like, oh no, that's shit. So you're like, oh my God, so if you think that's shit, so what do you think about my music, you know?
Yeah.
And so you cannot please everyone, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of what we do, and I really enjoy the type of music we are creating right now.
Mhm.
Can you,
Yeah,
when
kind
all
of
is
like a
said and done, can
combination
you,
of,
oh, when
sorry.
all is, like, can you sit down and listen to it and enjoy it? You know what I mean? And not say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Uh, well, I mean, this is another journey, okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
I noticed there's a pattern. So basically, uh, you kind of have to submit the song a couple of weeks before to
yeah.
Spotify or all the streaming platforms, and that's a very stressful moment. So basically, every song that we publish, we take it down immediately because
Sam's like, oh, I just heard something. We need to take it down.
Once I hit that
I
button,
could tell where this was going with Bloom's smile and also the loving way that she looked over at you.
yeah. So basically, the publishers must hate us already, but yeah, I always immediately take it down because once I hit that button, I'm like,
It's
out
like
of a sudden,
2 days.
I hear everything that is wrong with the track. It's like a click of a switch.
And it's like severe anxiety. It's like,
And then yeah, once I resubmit it
yeah.
again, 2 days before the release, I'm like, oh, just like full of anxiety. I cannot listen to the track because I'm literally
Scared.
getting a panic attack.
Mhm.
And then it slowly kind of like, I really love the moment of release because to me it's literally a release. Like the whole
Mm.
anxiety and everything
Yeah,
just
nothing you can
gets
do
released.
now.
Yeah, and then I still hate the song for good few weeks or months, and then after a while I'm just like, okay, it's all said and done.
Mhm.
And then he listens to it again. He's like, this is actually kind of good. I'm like, yes, it is.
Yeah, so yeah, I still hear some of the mistakes. I wish I could go back and change it, but also, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's not that important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
kind
identify.
of
I
important.
identify. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mm,
actually, the producer I work with, he's exactly like you. Exactly. This guy, James K.
mm,
Ultra, a pain in the ass. But this is what I do. It's taken a long time for me to do this, I have to say. As soon as it gets submitted, I never listen to it again until it comes out.
mhm.
And it's like taken a long time for me to develop that kind of determination.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm much happier,
Yeah,
I have to say.
it's hard because like sometimes obviously I always say that I'm not gonna listen, and
Yeah.
then I don't know, I'm just running on the gym and I'm like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna
Let me
listen.
have it. Let me have it
I'm
here.
sure it's gonna be fine.
Well,
And it's not, never.
you, you know what may be the most important thing that I wanted to mention too, is that you create such a like kind of um loving and like gentle like nest for Bloom's voice in this. And it's like
Mm,
so nice to hear Bloom like it's like more of your voice, you know what I mean? I mean, you can hear your voice in other songs, but it's something else when there's just like a little bed of something going on and you can really hear every nuance of your
mm.
voice. And it's just beautiful. Um, are you able to listen to your voice and enjoy it, or are you like, oh no, I should have done that over again?
Mm, that's a tough one. Um,
Not as bad as me.
it's definitely not as bad as Seb, but I don't know anyone who's as harsh on themselves as Seb is. Like, it's definitely less. But I guess I don't know. Like, I can never, I don't think anyone truly likes the sound of their voice. And it's weird when you're a singer and,
Mm.
that's what you do. But there's always just like that ew. Even when you listen to yourself talk, you're just like, oh, there's something about like hearing your own voice. But in saying that, like Seb makes it sound so good with the song. So it kind of, I know that it's my song, but it's become something else now. So, and then also the fact that I hear it 10 billion times and I just like exposure therapy. I've just like listened to it so much now.
And YouTube probably helps a lot.
Yeah.
And podcasts and stuff like that, because you have to edit your
because now I'm like listening to my own voice so bloody much from editing like all my videos and stuff. So I'm
right. Yeah.
Now. And then we've been doing music for a while. But I do prefer just not listening to it and doing it, you know, just especially just not having to listen back to it, just doing it live, not worrying about anything else. Just I'm just doing what I love and I don't have to listen to it.
You know, I wanted to ask you about the other stuff you do, because I was curious, because I had this experience in my life where I, you know, kind of had this music career earlier in life, and then I, you know, when I moved to Denmark here from New York, and I started working as a health coach, right? And I'm training people, and so I have this whole other career there. And I found like on Facebook and on Instagram, it's like my experience was that it's very hard for people to accept that you do even two different things. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, what are you talking about? You're like a health coach, personal trainer. You know, now you're trying to be a rock star. You know what? You know, like it just doesn't compute for people. You know, do you find that with like the stuff you do as Bloom? Or are you frustrated sometimes that the music is not reaching as many people? You know, like for instance, a long time I was reaching more people with like the personal trainer type stuff, and my music audience was much smaller. But I kind of wish that the music was reaching more people. You know.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Like I love what I do, and for anyone listening, I kind of am outspoken online about being a person with an intersex variation. If you don't know what that is, look up my channel Bloomkind, BlumekInd, and I can explain what it is. But basically, yeah, I love that I am able to educate so many people on the definition of intersex and be creating a little community like in the LGBTQIA plus and intersex community where people can just feel safe and learn about things, and you know, a lot of it is just me telling my life story, which is kind of weird. I have a very weird body in comparison to like regular people, and people are interested by that and my life experiences. And I'm glad people are interested to listen, but yeah, I guess you always want like your art, you know, to be received like that. Like if my art can one day be received as well as the story of me talking about my testicles, then that would be great, you know. That's the aim.
Everybody
like,
says that.
out there and seen by as many people as possible. But then it's just like there's the peak curiosity, you know, and people watching because they're curious, and then there's winning people over with your art, and then it's their taste, and it's all of this other more complicated stuff. So it's a lot harder, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting though, because I first saw you doing your Bloom stuff, and then I was super excited to see that you also did music, you know. So, but I really love what you do, because it speaks to me in the way that, like when I saw David Bowie, you know, like when I was a kid in high school, and because it's it was like I hear people say, you know, some people about David Bowie, that he gives you a permission slip to be yourself or be who you want to be. You know what I mean? And so I really get that as your message too, even though I'm not in any of the categories that you talked about that you are targeting. It's still like, to me, it's all the same stuff, because it's like, oh, you know, we're all trying to, we're on this journey to being our authentic selves, whatever that is, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's all like wrapped into one, you know. So I really love that. I think the music is going to keep on growing to, you know, where they'll be interchangeable. I have a feeling.
Yeah, we hope so, because we love our baby, our little mystical
Yeah.
tea party baby, and we're putting in so much work and effort. But it's also exciting being at the stage where we are now and seeing growth and seeing, like, we just released our new, like, 2 new songs. So we also have Honey, and we just released the music video for that. And it's going to be our most popular video on YouTube, which is like so exciting. And, you know, there
Yeah.
are people that are genuinely like interested in the music and really liking it. So it's really, really exciting. Everyone who is listening, it means so much.
Yeah,
Mm.
I wanted to talk about the video for Honey too, because I thought it was very smart of you guys to do it as a live band, you know, since you're building up the live show and everything. And it it really works great. I mean, it's super well done. You know, that's the kind of video you think, oh yeah, they're just playing live. It's easy to do, but it's very hard to do well and keep people engaged, you know, which you guys, it's just very well done. And you really feel the energy of the live band, you know. Is it,
Mm.
does it, I mean, I haven't seen you, I've seen little clips of live. Do you feel like it represents that well, like your live show and what you're going for there?
I hope.
I hope so.
Obviously, it's a music video, so you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's a little bit juiced up. But
yeah.
also, it's because we had very talented friends helping us with the music video,
Yeah.
Ethan and Andy, and
Yeah, my sister was the director, which was awesome. And
Oh,
our
that's
friend
so cool. Yeah.
like producing and
yeah. So it's all in the family, all
yes.
friends.
And then we also had the 2 other members of the band, Adam and Aaron, and they were great. And it was so much fun to do it with them because we love performing with them. And yeah, it was cool to like introduce them to the world, you know, as our rhythm section.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also play on the track. So basically,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's where the idea came from, because I never had experience recording drums, you know, or all like live instruments. So
Oh, I
I
was going to
usually,
ask you that. So they're playing on the track.
On Honey, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
cool.
And I never recorded drums, and we also didn't had much time. Like literally, we had like half an hour to record it, so it was meant to be like literally um 2 goes, and that's it. And I was like just based, and it was on a different mixer that I never seen in my life. Like had all these buttons, and I was trying to figure that out, plug into my computer, and it had like 5 minutes to do that, and then we didn't even listen to it back. And I was just like, okay, I hope it's good enough.
And it was.
And yeah, and then
I
I
have the
never.
feeling there's nothing you can't do, Sebastian.
It's true.
I'm putting
It's
you in
true.
that category. You're one of those mad
It's so
genius
true. He's an
members.
overachiever. He's an overachiever.
Oh yeah,
He's
maybe
an
I'm
A
just like,
plus student.
yeah, but yeah, it worked out. And I mean, I still, there's something about the drums I would still make it better, I feel, but yeah, the kick doesn't sound good, but I no one noticed, so maybe I shouldn't be saying that.
Yes.
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 Yeah, and yeah, so then it makes sense that we're gonna have them playing it on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And they were also like super excited. I knew it's gonna make them excited, just to, you know, be a band together and go to a like video studio, photography studio, and also we got pretty lucky because our friend owns a studio, so
Mm.
we could record that music video for free in there. It's Peter and Beck, and
Yeah,
they're
Peter and
amazing photographers.
Mm,
Uh, and yeah, so the set looked so awesome. We just basically kind of felt like rock stars for the first
Yeah.
time because we
We're like,
yeah.
oh shit.
yeah, we kind of came in and everything was done for us, and just like your sister and
Yeah.
our friend Andy were
They were like,
so
"Oh no,
nice.
you're the talent. You're the talent. You
Yeah.
just sit down. We're gonna do
Yeah.
everything." We're like, "Do you want some help?" And they're like, "No, no, no. This is how it works on a normal set." You're the talent." We're
Yeah.
like, okay.
And yeah, and just
We're
like
just
walking
figuring
in, and
beer.
the guys were so excited, and we just felt like, oh my God, that looks like the set just without even the camera, just like with your own eyes, just looked so cool. And
Yeah,
it
was so
and I'm
fun.
like, oh my God, I hope it's gonna look as cool on camera, you know, and just like everything worked out. Yeah, it was very exciting.
Mm. Well, it's I'm excited for you. I think it's, you know, I could feel it building you, and like you have this great community of people around you. Like you have a great team that's like, you know, helping you and is there for you. And I'm super excited, you know, where it's gonna head. Um, and I'm just about to run out of Zoom time, so I just want to thank you for making the time today. And you know, you guys are just lovely. I love talking to you guys, and
You know.
I'm always looking forward to the next thing. But what is the next thing for Mystic Tea Party? I know you've just come out with a bunch of stuff. Is there a plan?
Oh yeah, there's a new
Yeah.
song coming out very soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Music video.
Yeah, it's called
Wow.
Archive.
Archive.
And it's also we're gonna shoot a music video to it. This time I bought my first camera in my life, so I need to figure out how to use it. So
And we're gonna use that camera to film
but
it.
I have a very beautiful model, so I'm not worried about that.
Oh, that
It's-
helps. That helps.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see. I'm still actually waiting for the shipment, so I don't have the camera yet. So once I have it, we can start cracking on the music video. But the song is,
Pretty cool.
I think it's pretty
It's
cool.
pretty cool.
Maybe it's gonna be the best song yet. We'll see.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm sure it
it's like
still
kind of-
needs. I'm sure it still needs some work, though.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Bye.
you're on my show now. This is Sky.
Bye.
Oh, hello.
That's
Nice to
Bloom
meet
and
you.
Sebastian. Yeah, I'm almost done. I'm done in 30 seconds. Okay. She can't make her own breakfast. Okay. Out of camera view, even though you're better than me on camera. I'll probably
Thanks for
increase my
coming.
viewership, you know. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yeah, looking forward to the new song. I'm excited, and yeah, I just love you guys. So thanks for being on the
you.
show again, and talk to you again soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.